TallySchool. Learn Tally online easily at TallySchool. Hi, Rishit Shah from TallySchool, and this is the new and updated video for stock market entries in Tally as a trading. I've already created this video before, but a long time ago, and now from emails and comments that I've received in the post for stock market entries in Tally, I came up with a new video and a lot of detail I've included here, as well as I've written a whole long about 1000 words of post on TallySchool. So if you're watching this video on TallySchool, you must have read the entire post, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, I've linked down below the link for that post which you can read, and I recommend you read because there is a whole detail I have put into that post. And mark my words, this is stock market entry in Tally as a trader and not an investor. That means if you're trading in stock market, then this video is for you. And if you're investing in stock market, then please don't watch this video. Or if you want to know the knowledge, if you want to gain the knowledge of stock market entry as trading in Tally, you can watch this video. But if you're an investor, then I've created another video and another post for that, and you can watch that. I've also linked that below in this video. So let's come back to the topic, that is stock market entries in Tally as a trading. So first of all, we'll create some ledgers and stock items for our stocks. So from gateway of Tally, go to accounts info, then go to ledgers, then select create under single ledger, and ledger creation menu will open. Now first of all, we'll create a stockbroker ledger. So I write stockbroker. You can also write your stockbroker's name if you want for better understanding. And under list of groups, we can select either sundry debtors or sundry creditors. And the reason we can select either of one is because whenever you buy stock, that means your broker buys stocks on behalf of you. So that means you have to pay your broker the money, the amount of which he has bought stocks for you. So for you now, he is your creditor. And on the same time, whenever you sell stocks, that means your broker sells stocks on behalf of you, and you have to take money from him for the stocks sold. So that means for you now, the same broker is again your sundry debtor. And these are just two entries of buying and selling. In the whole entire year, there are hundreds of entries, and this position of sundry debtor and sundry creditor changes constantly. So what I recommend is, at the creation of the ledger, either you select creditor, or sundry debtor, that does not matter. You can select any of them. But at the end of the year, when you go and check out your balance sheet, you can see the position of your stockbroker, and you can then alter the ledger for the required for which it is required. So for example, at the end of the year you have to pay your broker, then it will be your sundry creditor, and at the end of the year, if you have to take money from your broker, then it is your sundry debtor. So that is how this works. I'll show you at the end of this video when I'll check out the balance sheet. So right now I am selecting just sundry creditors. Maintain bill by bill, no. And inventory values are affected, set that also to no. And if you have the address of the broker, you can enter it here, Gujarat. If you have the pin code, you can write it here. Bank details if you want to provide, and PAN number if you have your broker's PAN. You can usually find that on your contract note. So if you have, you can enter all the details. Opening balance, if you want to enter any opening balance here, I'm just leaving it blank. Okay, and now the second ledger we'll create is share purchases ledger, with the help of which we will purchase the shares. So share purchases, we'll write share purchases, and it will be under purchase accounts because we are purchasing shares. So from the list of groups, select purchase accounts. Now the main thing to note here is you have to set inventory values are affected to yes, because whenever we purchase shares with the help of share purchases ledger, we will enter the stock items, and that is the inventory for us. So whenever we create share purchases ledger, we have to set inventory values are affected to yes. So I'll keep it yes, and again no bank details and no opening balance, just create. Okay, now the same technique will be used to create a share sales account. So share sales account, everything is similar except the list of groups, it will be under sales account and not purchase accounts. So sales accounts, and again inventory values are affected will be set to yes. So press enter and save it. Sorry. Now we will create another account called, or another ledger called share brokerage account. So share brokerage, this is the brokerage which we will pay to our broker, and the reason why I'm created the different ledger for share brokerage because we can separately account for brokerage in our accounts. You can also include share brokerage account in stockbroker, and for that you just don't have to create share brokerage account, so the entire amount will be debited or credited in the stockbroker's account. So share brokerage account, I recommend you create a separate account, so at the end of the year you'll know how much brokerage you have paid, and it will be under direct expenses because it is our direct expense, and inventory values are affected will be set to no, and just save it by pressing enter. Now the next account we'll create is STT and other charges etc account. So that is securities transaction tax and service tax also is included, and other charges account that is used if we want to record that STT taxes and everything other charges separately for our accounting purposes. If you don't want to record it separately, you can record the entire amount in share brokerage ledger which we have just created, but I recommend it you create separately. So STT, service tax and other charges account. Okay, other charges. Now this will be also under direct expenses because it is our direct expenses, and inventories values are affected will be set to no. Okay, so we have created 4 ledgers which are called stockbrokers ledger, share purchases ledger, share sales ledger, share brokerage ledger, and STT service tax and other charges ledger. So total not 4, sorry, 5 ledgers we have created. Now we will create a stock item for our stock, so that will be created under inventory info menu. So let's just go to inventory info menu and create a stock item. So press escape to come back to the gateway of Tally. Press escape 2-3 times, so you'll eventually come back to the gateway of Tally. Now go to inventory info, down the accounts info, and go to stock items, and under single stock item here create, press enter on create. Now the name of the stock is Reliance, so I'll enter Reliance. Under primary, yes, units, you can create units and I'll show you how right now. Just press Alt+C when you are here exactly on this tab. So Alt+C and this small menu will appear. So in symbol you have to type the name of the unit. So stocks are in numbers, so we'll type NO, that is numbers. Okay, so already it is there, so let's type NOS, that is numbers, and you can enter formal name if you want. Number of decimal places, let's keep it to 0, so no decimals will be allowed, and press enter to accept it. So we have just created units, that is numbers. You can also create different units like kg, liter, centimeter, meter, etc. Opening quantity, will not enter it because we'll first buy it and then we will sell it. So press enter. So we have created a stock item also. Now we'll finally create the entry for stock market in Tally as trading. Okay, so press escape and come back to the gateway of Tally once again. So press escape 1, 2, 3 times and go to accounting vouchers and press enter. Now here you have to select journal entry because we will be passing journal entry. So press F7. There is a shortcut for journal entry. First of all, select the date which you want. So I've selected 1st April 2015. Now whenever you buy stock, that means you have bought something for you which is stocks, and that stock is your asset. An asset is debit. So share purchases will be debit because in Tally buy means debit and to means credit. So whenever you buy stock, you will pass share purchases in the buy column, and whenever you sell stock, you will pass share sales in to column. So that is how it works. It is basic accounting. And so let's say we are buying share purchases. So we are buying Reliance, and as I've set inventory allocations to yes for share purchases, it will show me the stock items allocation. So in there I've also created Reliance right now in front of you. So select Reliance by pressing R. Now quantity, let's say 100. Rate, let's say hypothetically the rate is also 100. So total we have bought 10,000 rupees of stock for Reliance, and just press enter and save it. Now first of all we have to pay the brokerage. So let's say the brokerage is 100 rupees. So let's say 100. So that okay. So brokerage will be also debit. So in to column we'll select buy, and share brokerage will be 100 rupees. Now again Tally by default puts it to 2, but we can change. Now we'll enter the other charges ledger, which is STT service tax, and let's say it is 10 rupees in total. So STT service tax and other charges, so 10. So total now what the amount we have to pay to our broker is 10,110 rupees. So now which is credit, we have to credit our broker, and now he becomes our creditor as I explained earlier. So to stock broker, and Tally will automatically take the amount, that is 10,110 rupees. So this is the whole entry of buying Reliance, which is 100 stocks, 100 shares of Reliance at 100 rupees per share, total 10,000. Share brokerage, which is 100 rupees. Service tax and other charges, STT service tax and other charges, which is 10 rupees, and total amount what we have to pay to our broker is 10,110, which Tally has automatically calculated. So now I'll press, and you can enter the narration. I have pressed enter and come down. So if you want to enter the narration, enter the narration and just accept it. So we have created the share purchases entry very easily. Now let's go to the profit and loss account and balance sheet to see the effects. So I'll press escape and come back to the gateway of Tally. First we will go to profit and loss account. Press Alt plus F1, and as you can see, share purchases, under purchase account we can see 10,000 rupees, and share brokerage and service tax, STT service tax and other charges are already separated as direct expenses. So we can now have a view how much brokerage we have paid, how much service tax, STT and other charges we have paid. And on the other side we can see the closing stock Reliance, because we have not done anything except for buying, so it will be directly our closing stock if we see the balance sheet today or profit and loss today. So now let's go to the balance sheet and press Alt plus F1. Now, as you can see, under current liabilities, sundry creditors is 10,110, which is our stockbroker. So if we go in there by pressing enter, we can see stockbroker is on the credit side. So we have credited, so we have selected the sundry creditors. It is on the credit side. So for now, it is our sundry creditor. So therefore, this stockbroker will show here. Now if we go to closing stock, it is same as the profit and loss account, and the profit and loss account is on the debit side because we have a loss of 110, which is the brokerage and STT, service tax and other charges, because I have not created any other entries in Tally except for this. So directly our expense will be shown as loss by Tally. Now let's get back, and one more thing, that is stock summary. Let's have a look at that first. So press enter on stock summary and press Alt plus F1. Okay, no need to press Alt plus F1 because this is the only stock or share I have. You can see here quantity, rate and value. So we have maintained the stock, we have created an entry, we have separated stock, share brokerage and STT, service tax and other charges in the profit and loss account. So this is a good type of accounting, I can call it. Now let's sell the Reliance share. So press escape and we will go to accounting vouchers from gateway of Tally once again, and we'll pass again a journal entry for share sales. So let's say, for example, if we have sold it for 15,000 rupees, which does not include brokerage and STT, service tax and other charges. So let's say if we deduct that, the total sales amount is 14,800 rupees, and of that 200 which is remaining, 150 rupees is for stock brokerage or share brokerage and 50 rupees is for STT, service tax and other charges. This is just an example, so don't take and compare the amount of purchase and sales. I know it is less for purchases and more for sales, but just don't compare it. I'm just creating an example to explain you the entry. So now, as we have sold, we will debit first our stock broker because it is now our it is now our debtor, as I've told you earlier, because we have to take money from him for the stock which he has sold on behalf of us. So we will debit stock broker, and from stock broker we have to take 14,800 rupees because 200 is what we have to pay again to the stockbroker for share brokerage and STT, service tax and other charges. So 14,800 total we have to take from the stockbroker. Now again, Tally automatically puts after buy the two symbol. So what we have to do is we have to just press BY, that is buy, and we will select share brokerage, which is 150, and again we will press B and Y, that is type B and Y, and we will select now STT, service tax and other charges, and it will be 50 rupees. Now 2, which is the stock which we have sold, so therefore we will select share sales account because we have sold it, so we'll credit it because at the time of purchase we have debited that, and now when we are selling we'll credit that. There is a rule of accountancy, if you know. If you don't know, just don't worry, this is how Tally works. So 2 share sales account which we have created, and in there again we have set inventory allocations, yes. So now we'll select Reliance, and we have sold, let's say 80 quantity at 15,000 rupees in total. So it will automatically take the rate per number, so that is 187.5, and press enter. So as we have pressed enter, automatically it will come down to narration because there is nothing more to enter here. So by mistake, if you enter 15,000 here differently, Tally will say you to pass another entry and you'll immediately recognize the mistake. So 15,000 rupees credit, and this whole entry is made. Now, one thing I want to emphasize here is, if you have paid attention to the share purchase entry which I have passed in this video, then you can clearly see that this is the exact opposite entry of share purchase entry, which is the share sales entry. This is the exact opposite entry, except for share brokerage and STT, service tax and other charges, which is always debit. In that entry we have credited stockbroker. In this entry we are debiting stockbroker. In that entry we have debited share purchase account. In this entry we are crediting share sales. So this is the opposite. Okay, now coming back, narration, you can enter the narration, sold shares, anything you want. I'm just keeping it blank, and when it will ask accept yes or no, press enter to accept. So we have created a share sales entry 2. So this is how purchases and sales work. So let's once again check the effects of that. So let's come back to the gateway of Tally by pressing escape. Let's go to the profit and loss account. Press Alt plus F1 to see the detailed view. Now you can see the share sales account also, and the closing stock of Reliance, which is 2000. So share sales 15,000, share purchases 10,000, and again the share brokerage and STT, service tax and other charges are increased by the amount which we have paid to our broker. And this is how Tally works. Reliance 2000, which is the closing stock left. So if we go in there, we can see inwards 10,000, outwards 15,000. So the profit is 5,000. And if we look at the quantity, inwards 100, outwards 80, and 20 is the closing stock. If we click here on show profit, it will show you the profit, which is gross profit 7,000 rupees, because we have sold outwards. Okay, so this is how the Tally shows you everything. If we come back to the balance sheet, let's check the balance sheet. Press Alt plus F1, and as you can see, the sundry creditors is on the debit side. So let's go in there. So now stockbroker has a debit balance, so that means it is not a creditor anymore, it is our debtor. So what we can do is press Ctrl plus enter from here, and we can just alter sundry creditors to sundry debtors, the stockbroker's ledger. Select the sundry debtors and press Ctrl plus A. So now it has been removed from sundry creditors, and it is in sundry debtors. So if we go to sundry debtors, there is a debit balance of, whenever you see the debit balance, it means it is a sundry debtor, and whenever you see the credit balance, it means the sundry creditor. So as I've seen the debit balance, I have quickly edited or altered the ledger and put it to debit. So this was what I was talking about, that this position changes constantly during the entire year. We have just created 2 entries in this video, but in real life there are hundreds and thousands of entries of stock market for a particular person, and this position changes as per that. So what we have to do is, at the end of the year, we have to just check whether it is debit balance here or credit balance and alter the ledger accordingly. So let's come back by pressing escape, and let's see the stock summary. So as you can see, 100 closing balance, rate is 100, and 2000 value, and 20 shares are left. So this is how stock market entries in Tally works. This is the entire video of stock market entry in Tally as a trading, and not an investing, as trading. So if you are not a service provider, what I'm going to explain you ahead will be of little use to you, but if you want to gain knowledge, you can watch the rest of the video, or otherwise this was the stock market entry in Tally as a trading. Now after this, I'm going to explain stock market, if you are a stock market entries in Tally as trading, if you are a service provider. So if you want to gain more knowledge, or if you are a service provider, watch the rest of the video, because it will be very helpful for you. But if you are not a service provider and just want to gain knowledge, then you can watch the video, or if you are in hurry, then this video is over for you, because I've entirely explained the stock market entry in Tally as trading. So now I'm going to explain what if you are a service provider and if you want to take the service tax credit for your year or for your entries. So service tax credit means whenever you provide a service, you take service tax from your clients and pay it to the government. But when you pay service tax in stock market while you purchase and sell shares, that means you have paid service tax already, and now if you're taking from your client, that means you have to pay the remaining service tax and not the whole service tax, because the certain amount you have already paid while purchasing and selling shares. So for that, there is an option in Tally or feature in Tally which is called service tax. We have to enable that, and then I'll create entry for share purchases once again to show you. So let's say you are a service provider. So from gateway of Tally, press F11 or just click here on features, then go to statutory and taxation. Then the third option is enable service tax. So go in there and press yes, and set auto service tax details, keep it no, and just press Ctrl plus A. So we have enabled service tax in Tally. Now if I come back, I'll create another ledger called service tax. So let's say service tax, and go to accounts info and ledger, and then under single ledger press enter on create. So service tax, and it will be under duties and taxes, because there is a specific ledger made in Tally for duties and taxes. So duties and taxes. Now under type of duty tax, select service tax. Under tax head, select service tax once again, and rounding method, select not applicable, and go ahead and save the ledger. Okay, so we have created a service tax ledger. So what we will do is we'll go back and create another entry of share purchases right now. So let me go back by pressing escape. Now I'll go to accounting vouchers and create a journal entry once again. So select journal. If you are not in any of these, press F7. I'm already in the journal, so I'll go to that, and let's purchase some shares of Reliance once again. So share purchases, Reliance, select Reliance. This time we'll buy 50 shares at 105 rupees, so it is 5,250. Now select buy once again and select share brokerage. So select, let's say the share brokerage is 50 rupees. Again press B and Y or type buy, and now select service tax and enter the amount of service tax. Let's say you paid service tax of 5 rupees, for example, just an example. And now we'll select the stock broker. So stock broker, so the entire amount is calculated automatically in the journal. So go ahead and press enter the narration if you want, and if it will ask for accepting, press yes to accept. So this is how it works. I have entered the service tax because we can separately account for it in our account. So at the end of the year, we don't have to count the service tax amount by going through the contract notes. It is already counted in Tally automatically. So let's have a look how it is counted. So press escape and come back to gateway of Tally. Now go to balance sheet and see what happens. Press Alt plus F1 and under current liabilities we can see duties and taxes. So if we go there, it is a debit amount because which we have paid. So whenever you take from your client the service tax, because I have assumed that you are a service provider, so you'll take your fees plus service tax, it will it will be shown here on credit. So whatever you have to pay to the government is the difference net of debit and credit. So already debit of 5 rupees is there because it has been debited whenever you purchase shares or sell shares, because you ultimately pay service tax to your broker and your broker pays to the government by this same method. He'll also debit and credit and net of it and will pay the amount to the government, the net amount. So this is how the service tax works in Tally. And if we see, closing stock is this, which is calculated on average basis. So 70 stock, and this rate is calculated on average basis, which is default in Tally. You can also set it to FIFO, LIFO, whatever you want. So press escape and go to sundry data. Now you can see here sundry data is negative, so we can go check. Now the position of our stockbroker is credit once again because we have purchased stock. So what we can do is press Ctrl plus enter from here and press enter and just select sundry creditor instead of sundry debtor and press Ctrl plus A to save it. So this is how it works. Now it is sundry creditor, so it will be shown on liabilities side instead of the asset side. So this is how Tally works. And duties and tax is minus, which means we have already paid. We do not have to pay anything to the government because we have already paid extra service tax. Whenever you receive the amount from your from your client, it will be credited, and whatever the net amount is, which you have to pay to the government at the end of the year. So press escape and let's look at profit and loss account. Press Alt plus F1. Now this is pretty much same. Share sales, share purchases account have been increased, and brokerage and service tax and other charges also been increased. Now service tax is not showing here because we have differently created the ledger of duties and taxes, so it will be shown in the balance sheet. But if you are not a service provider, you will not get the service tax credit and you just pay the service tax entirely to the government. So that option is of no use if you are not a service provider. So closing stock, Reliance, same as stock summary, so we don't have to do anything here. Now let's go to, okay, one more thing. Net profit of 6,506.67 is displayed because we have sold shares at profit, and closing stock is also good, so the net profit will be displayed here. Now we will go to stock summary and see. So as you can see, this is the closing stock, nothing more here. So this was the entire video for stock market entries in Tally as trading. I hope you understood it. I've explained two scenarios, which is for a service provider and for other normal people who are not service provider. So I am sure you understood everything, and I've created this updated version specially, that is 2016 updated version for the new year. And if you have any doubts or want any clarification, just comment below. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment below on YouTube. If you're watching this on TallySchool, comment below on TallySchool, and I'll solve your doubts entirely by commenting. So if you have any doubts or if you want any clarity, just comment below and I'll be very happy to help you. Now if you find this video useful, share it with other people, because they might find this confusing, but you know and I know it is very easy, but they do not know. So share some knowledge with your friends or anyone you like. Just share it. It will help you as well as me. So if you found it useful, please share it everywhere you want. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which I'll be uploading soon. So thank you very much. This is Rishit Shah and I'm signing off from this video. Thank you very much for watching.